Elvis Presley once dropped over $140,000 on cars for friends and O&E, complete stranger, in a single afternoon. He bought a used commercial airliner just because he liked the name, and then spent way more money tricking it out than the plane even cost him. He snagged it for just over $100,000 back in the day. Get ready? 'Cause we're diving into the king's treasure chest. Number 9. The car so cool. He bought the Prevost. Okay, picture this. It's 1970. Elvis is H-U-G-E. He hears about this super exclusive, super powerful hand-built car called the Stutz Blackhawk. We're talking Italian craftsmanship, wrapped around a big all-American V8 engine. These weren't just regular cars, they were like works of art on wheels, dripping with luxury. Think gold-plated trim, the finest leather wood grain everywhere, and the price tag WOAH. While a fancy Cadillac might set you back $10,000, the Stutz was reportedly in the $22,000 to $23,000 range. Back then, that's like MEGA expensive for a car in 1970. So, what does Elvis do? He doesn't just order one. Oh, no. He manages to buy the very first Stutz Blackhawk ever sold. It was actually a prototype that had been shown off to get potential buyers interested. Elvis saw it, wanted it, and boom, it was his. He loved this car. He drove it a lot. It was sleek, black, and totally screamed Elvis. It had this super long hood and looked like something a movie star should be driving. Inside, it was pure luxury. Thick carpets, top-notch, stereo, everything custom. He apparently even flew the car's designer over from Italy just to deliver it personally. Sadly, Elvis's beloved first Stutz met a bumpy end. His chauffeur apparently had an accident while driving it, and though Elvis kept it for a while hoping to repair it, it was pretty badly damaged. But did that stop the king? Nope. He just went out and bought more Stutz tickets over the years. He ended up owning at least 4 of them. But that very first one, the prototype snagged for a huge chunk of change back then, kicks off our list. Number 8. That time he bought like a whole Cadillac dealership's worth of cars in one go. Elvis loved cars. We know this. Cadillacs were practically his trademark. Giving them away was also kind of his thing. But one time in Denver, Colorado, in January 1976, he took it to a whole new level. Picture this. Elvis is in town, maybe feeling generous, maybe just bored. He rolls into Jack Kent Cadillac dealership. And he doesn't just browse, he starts pointing. I'll take that one and that one. Oh, and that one over there. He ended up buying cars for his girlfriend, Linda Thompson, his bodyguards, friends, and even a local TV news anchor woman he'd just met. Reports say he bought somewhere between 8 and 14 Cadillacs that day. Mostly Eldorados, the big, flashy, personal luxury coups, the total bill. Estimates range from $140,000 to maybe even $200,000 in 1976. That's an absolutely staggering amount of money to drop on cars in one single shopping spree. Imagine the scene at the dealership. Fonts ringing off the hook, paperwork flying, salesmen probably fainting from excitement. He paid with a personal check, naturally. It wasn't just about buying cars for himself. This was Elvis sharing his immense wealth in the most extravagant way possible. He literally made dreams come true for a bunch of people that afternoon, just because he could. This single purchase event, showering his circle and a lucky stranger with brand new Cadillacs, was easily one of his most expensive single bursts of automotive spending. Number 7. Bling fit for the king. The TCB diamond ring. Elvis didn't just wear jewelry. He wore STATEMENTS. And nothing, said Elvis, quite like his massive, diamond-encrusted TCB ring. TCB stood for taking care of business, a motto he adopted for himself and his inner circle, the Memphis Mafia. He didn't just have one TCB ring. He had several custom-made over the years, often giving them as special gifts to his closest friends and associates. But the ones he wore himself, they were spectacular. We're talking serious bling. Imagine a huge block of gold, often shaped like a horseshoe, a symbol of good luck, or just a big rectangle, absolutely paved with diamonds. At the center, there'd usually be a massive solitaire diamond, sometimes several carats in size. Then, surrounding that monster stone would be dozens, sometimes hundreds, of smaller diamonds spelling out TCB with a lightning bolt symbol. These weren't off-the-shelf rings. They were custom designed by Lowell Hayes, Elvis's preferred jeweler in Memphis. The cost? We're talking tens of thousands of dollars each back in the 1970s. One famous TCB ring reportedly featured a whopping 16 carats of diamonds in total, including an 11.5 carat center stone. Think about the price of diamonds today. Now imagine that kind of rock back then. These rings were heavy, flashy, and unmistakable. They weren't just accessories. They were symbols of loyalty, power, and Elvis's unique brand of cool. While it's hard to put an exact price tag on the single most expensive ring he ever bought, he had so many. The investment in these custom diamond TCB pieces represents a huge category of his spending among his precious personal possessions. Owning one was like holding a piece of Elvis's personal philosophy, crafted in gold and diamonds. Number 6. A whole ranch just to get away from it all. For a bit. By 1967, Elvis was a global superstar, but he craved a place to escape the craziness of fame, somewhere near Graceland, but more private. So what did he do? He bought a ranch. Not just any ranch, but a sprawling 163-acre property called the Twinkletown Farm, located just across the Mississippi state line from Memphis. He quickly renamed it the Circle G Ranch. G for Graceland, naturally, the cost. Around $300,000 to $400,000 back in '67, which was a serious chunk of change for undeveloped land and some existing structures. But Elvis didn't just buy the land. He went on an epic spending spree to outfit it. He bought a whole fleet of mobile homes, trailer homes, and parked them on the property for himself and his buddies, the Memphis Mafia, to hang out in. He bought pickup trucks, tractors and other farm equipment, and horses. Lots of horses. He wanted to be a gentleman rancher, breeding quarter horses. He bought expensive riding gear for everyone. He even built a fence around the entire property. It became a playground for Elvis and his entourage. They'd ride horses, shoot guns, have barbecues, and generally just chill out, away from the public eye. He sunk a ton of money into this place. Not just the initial purchase, but all the stuff he bought to fill it. He loved it for a while. The dream of being a quiet rancher didn't last forever. Maintaining the ranch, the horses, and everything else was expensive and time-consuming. After only about 5 years, Elvis sold the Circle G Ranch. But for a brief period it was his ultimate escape, a sprawling personal playground bought on a whim and outfitted with everything he could possibly want, making it one of his biggest single property investments outside of Graceland itself. Number 5. His Hollywood hideaway, the Beverly Hills Mansion. When Elvis wasn't rocking Las Vegas or relaxing at Graceland, he needed a base in California. He'd owned other houses there before, but in 1970, he bought a serious mansion in the ultra-posh Beverly Hills area. The address: 144 Montevideo Drive. This wasn't just some crash pad. It was a statement home in one of the most exclusive neighborhoods in the world. He reportedly paid around $339,000 for it, though some sources say closer to $400,000. In 1970, that kind of money bought you a lot of house, even in Beverly Hills. And it was a lot of house. Built in a sort of French Regency or Tudor style, it sat on a large lot, over an acre, behind imposing gates, offering the privacy he craved. We're talking multiple bedrooms, maybe 7, lots of bathrooms, spacious living areas perfect for entertaining, a library, and probably a screening room knowing Elvis. Outside, there was a large patio area, and, of course, a swimming pool. It had a separate guest house and plenty of room for his cars and security. This became his main home on the West Coast during the 70s. He did renovations, put his own stamp on the decor. You can bet it wasn't understated. Imagine the parties, the late-night chats, the music sessions that might have happened within those walls. It was where he lived when filming specials like Elvis, Hello from Hawaii, was being planned, and where he'd stay during his runs in Vegas or LA recording sessions. Compared to Graceland's southern charm, this house represented his Hollywood life, a luxurious fortress in the heart of the movie industry's playground. Selling it a few years later didn't change the fact that buying this prime piece of Beverly Hills real estate was a massive purchase, solidifying his status not just as a music king, but as a major Hollywood player with a home to match. Number 4. The little jet he bought while waiting for the big one. Elvis loved to travel in style, and by the mid-70s, commercial flights or driving just weren't cutting it. He needed his own plane. Actually, he needed planes. While waiting for his main aircraft, we'll get to that, he needed something to zip around in right now. So, in September 1975, he bought a Lockheed Jetstar. He named this one Hound Dog II. Cost somewhere around $900,000. Now, the Jetstar wasn't some tiny little puddle jumper. It was a serious business jet, popular with corporations and governments. It typically seated around 8 to 10 passengers comfortably and had 4 engines mounted on the rear fuselage, giving it a distinctive look. It was fast and could handle medium-range flights easily, perfect for getting Elvis and his crew to Vegas shows or recording sessions, quickly and privately. Elvis had it painted in a very unsubtle, bright yellow, green, and white color scheme with the TCB lightning bolt logo on the tail. Inside, it was plush, though not quite as over-the-top as his other plane would become. Think comfortable seats, a small galley, and a private lavatory. This wasn't just a purchase. It was an operational expense, too. Owning a jet like this meant paying for pilots, fuel, lots of it, maintenance, hangars, space, insurance. The costs added up fast. Hound Dog II served as the main Elvis air transport for several months while his bigger jet was being transformed. Even after the bigger plane arrived, Hound Dog II remained part of his fleet, often used by his manager, Colonel Tom Parker, or other members of his team, buying a nearly $1 million business jet just as a temporary ride is peak Elvis extravagance. Number 3. Graceland, the house that became a kingdom. Okay, we know what you're thinking. Elvis bought Graceland in 1957 for only $102,500. That doesn't sound like that much compared to jets and ranches. Right, W-R-O-N-G. Think of Graceland not just as a house purchase, but as a 20-year project that soaked up cash like a sponge. That initial price was just the entry fee to building his personal kingdom. First, the house itself. It was already a big southern colonial mansion on nearly 14 acres, way bigger than his previous homes. But Elvis immediately started customizing. He added the famous custom-made music gates at the entrance, shaped like sheets of music with guitars and silhouettes of himself. He built a stone wall around the property for privacy and security. Inside, the renovations were constant. He added the swimming pool shortly after moving in. Then came the wild stuff. The famous jungle room downstairs, with its green shag carpet on the floor, hand-deed ceiling, waterfall, and Polynesian furniture. He built the trophy room to display his gold records and awards, and later connected it to a slot car track room. He added stables for his horses. In the 70s, he built an entire racquetball building, a huge 2-story structure, with a court, a lounge area with a bar, pinball machines, and even a piano. And finally, the meditation garden, where he and his family members are now buried. Beyond the big construction projects, think about the furnishings. Quote, Elvis constantly redecorated. He bought multiple sets of furniture for rooms, top-of-the-line appliances, like the multiple TZs he famously shot, security systems and landscaping, plus the upkeep. Graceland required a huge staff: cooks, maids, groundskeepers, security, handymen. The utility bills alone must have been astronomical. So while the initial purchase price seems modest by today's standards, though it was a fortune in 1957, the total investment Elvis poured into transforming Graceland from a mansion into his personal sanctuary, his fortress of solitude, and the ultimate symbol of his success, ran into hundreds and hundreds of thousands, if not millions, over the years. It wasn't just a house, it was the heart of his empire, and funding it was a constant, massive expense. Number 2. Making a used airliner fit for the king. Gold seatbelts, anyone? So Elvis bought a big plane. Spoiler alert for number 1. But buying the plane itself was only part 1 of the story. Part 2 was making it his. He didn't just want a functional plane, he wanted a flying palace. The customization of his Convair 880 jet, which he named the Lisa Marie, was an undertaking of epic proportions and cost a fortune, arguably more than the plane itself initially cost. He hired the same team of designers and outfitters who had worked on Air Force One, the president's plane. That tells you the level of luxury and detail he was going for. The refit took months, from late 1975 into 1976, and the features, absolutely jaw-dropping for the time. We're talking plush swivel chairs covered in soft suede, couches for lounging, a conference room area with big seats around a table, perfect for planning tours or playing cards, a private master bedroom suite. Yes, a bedroom on a plane, featuring a queen-sized bed, not some tiny bunk. Multiple bathrooms, including one with honest-to-goodness gold-plated fixtures, sink, faucets, the works. And get this, the seatbelt buckles throughout the plane were also gold-plated. He installed a state-of-the-art audio-visual system with multiple TVs and a quadraphonic 8-track stereo system pumping sound through 52 speakers. There was a full galley for preparing meals and drinks. The level of detail, the quality of the materials, fine woods, leathers, fabrics, and the sheer ambition of turning a former commercial jetliner into a personal luxury sky lounge was unprecedented. The estimated cost for just this customization, somewhere north of $600,000 in 1975 dollars. That's on top of what he paid for the plane itself. This wasn't just redecorating, it was a complete transformation, turning a workhorse aircraft into a symbol of ultimate rock star luxury. And the bill reflected that. Number 1. The Lisa Marie, his very own flying Graceland. And here it is, the undisputed heavyweight champion of Elvis's spending, his personal Convair 880 jet airliner, the legendary Lisa Marie. This wasn't just buying a private jet. This was buying a plane, a former commercial airliner. In April 1975, Elvis bought a used Convair 880 from Delta Airlines for $250,000. The story goes, he saw it parked at the airport, liked its detailed design and 4 powerful engines, and decided he had to have it. He named it, of course, after his beloved daughter, Lisa Marie. Now, $250,000 was just the starting point. As we saw in number 2, the customization cost at least another $600,000, bringing the total initial outlay for getting this bird flight ready and Elvis ready close to $1 million back in 1975. That is an absolutely monumental sum of money. The Convair 880 was a serious piece of machinery. It was designed to carry around 100 passengers commercially. Elvis configured his for ultimate comfort for about 28 people. It had intercontinental range, meaning he could fly non-stop across the US or even potentially overseas, though he never toured outside North America. Owning and operating this beast was incredibly expensive. Think about the fuel consumption of 4 jet engines designed to haul an airliner. The cost of pilots. He needed a flight crew. Captain, first officer, flight engineer, maintenance, specialized mechanics for an aging airliner, insurance, hangar fees at Graceland. Yes, he parked it near the house. It was a constant drain, likely costing hundreds of thousands per year just to keep it operational. But for Elvis, it represented ultimate freedom and status. No more crowded airports, no more relying on chartered planes. He could go where he wanted, when he wanted, in unparalleled luxury. He flew the Lisa Marie extensively during the last 2 years of his life, hopping between Memphis, Vegas, tour stops, and vacation spots. It was his sky-high sanctuary, equipped with everything from a bed to gold faucets. The sheer scale of buying a commercial airliner and customizing it to be a personal luxury transport puts the Lisa Marie jet, considering both the purchase price and the extravagant refit, firmly at the top as the single most expensive thing Elvis Presley ever bought. It was quite literally Graceland with wings.